So now, before we go on the verses, let's just briefly look at who is Shaitan. What is our understanding of Shaitan? This dialogue over here from ayah number, I think 11, right? Ayah number 12 to ayah number 17. This is the dialogue between Shaitan and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So who is he? First of all, why is it that we must know Shaitan? There's a reason that we should know people, right? Why? Because he's out to get you. It's as simple as that. And we must know our enemy in order to save ourselves, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also says in Surah Fatir, surely Shaitan is an enemy to you. So take him as an enemy. He only invites his that they may become the dwellers of the blazing fire. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Az-Zukhruf, and let not Shaitan hinder you from the right path. That is, verily, he to you is a plain enemy, aduwwum mubin, absolutely manifest enemy. So understand that Shaitan is not an enemy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is one of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's creations. He is my enemy. He is your enemy. And he has declared it openly, open war, right? So what is his name? The personal name of Shaitan is Iblis. It is derived from ablasa yublisu, which means he despaired or gave up hope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy. His name is also Shaitan, devil, or Satan, right? Usually translated as evil spirit or a fiend. Shaitana, the root word of Shaitan, means that he was or became distant or remote from the truth and the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. So now, we did these verses. I just read the translation of all of these. So over here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, Shaitan is saying, absolutely clearly declaring war. Now that you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, have led me astray, I will now sit for them on your straight path. Now, this is also a very interesting thing. Lahum siratakal mustaqim. He will sit on the straight path. Who walks Sirat al-Mustaqim? Who walks Sirat al-Mustaqim? Who even wants to come to Sirat al-Mustaqim? Somebody whose heart has melted, right? Somebody who's drawn towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who wants to find out about deen or wants to be a practicing Muslim. Hai na? That is the person who's going to be on Sirat al-Mustaqim. Otherwise, a disbeliever or somebody who's not even bothered about deen or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they've got nothing to do with Sirat al-Mustaqim. He's not getting after them because they're already all over the place. Na? His resource management is amazing. We need to learn from him that way. The resource management. He's not going to waste his time on that. The minute you decide in your heart to come towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the minute you open the Quran. Why is it that we say A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim before we read the Quran? Because you need that protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from shaitan. The minute you open the Quran, he's like, oh, okay, isko kya hua? Right? Acha khaza, she was sitting and watching Netflix. Now she wants to attend a Quran class. Okay, I need to do something. So he said, I will certainly sit for them in ambush on your Sirat al-Mustaqim. Right? Be careful of that. Okay. Then, yeah, it's literally like an ambush. You're not going to realize it. And I will come to them from their front and from their behind and from their right and every which way. Every which way I'm going to attack them. And the goal of Shaitan is actually pretty simple. One point agenda to convince people to follow him. And convince who? Right? The ones who are already following him. Alhamdulillah, he probably says, right? Just to convince people to follow him. Now, billions of us, I don't know what is the population, I have no idea. We have, how many billion are we? If somebody knows, I'm not sure. So, billions of humanity, billions of people, how is he going to do that? We did that. Those of you who have done Surah Al-An'am over here in these sessions. And so we have appointed for every prophet enemies, shayateen, among mankind and shayateen among jinn, inspiring one another with adorned speech as a delusion or by way of deception. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also said in Surah Nisa, which we had covered in Ramadan, those who believe fight in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and those who disbelieve fight in the cause of shaitan, the taghut, right? So he kind of recruits people as well as jinn. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Ash-Shad, Iblis said, by your might, then I will surely mislead them all. Allah said that in another place, that he is going to try to attempt to corrupt human beings through temptations, through false suggestions, through waswas, right? His predominant characteristics, pride and arrogance, snobbery, rebellion, envy, disobedience. If I find any of these characteristics in me, that means that I have a part of the characteristics of shaitan and I need to do something about it. By means of tazkiyah, by means of cleansing myself, by means of trying to get rid of all the negativity and negative traits and actually very toxic traits of shaitan that I might have, right? So anybody can be shaitan actually. This could be you or me. Anyone who tries to, lure you towards defiance of Allah, towards rejection of hadith, rejection of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, anything to do with deen. If anyone who calls you to that, and it doesn't mean that somebody will call you to that in so many words. There can be various different strategies to do that. Anybody who does that is one of the shayateen's partners or part of his group. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said now that using his tongue, using his voice, anything that you hear that lures you away from your faith, that causes doubt in your heart, it's part of shaitani kam, right? And one of the most interesting things is that shaitan wants me to think that he looks like this. Yeah, we've got all of these images, right? Caricatures, images of shaitan. If you see something like that, you're kind of on your guard. Shaitan wants you to forget that he exists, or he wants to make such a caricature of himself that you don't take him seriously. Would you take something like this seriously? This is ridiculous. Or, generally we see these kind of images in the media, don't we? From a very, very young age. And don't think that it doesn't affect us. It totally affects our perception of what we think the devil is all about. You don't take him seriously. Would you ever think that somebody so pretty, looking so beautiful in the worldly sense, could ever have anything to do with shaitan? Right? Could shaitan ever be like this? It's only this kind of image that is dark and dreary and evil. All the good guys who are saving the world, who are saving the planet, who are saving the trees, who are saving whatever, left, right, and center, are pristine and beautiful, and in the media generally good looking, generally, and predominantly. And everything evil and bad and corrupt is dark and dreary, etc. You all should listen to this clip. If I find it, inshallah, I'll post it on the group, and Roheva, you can share it, of Muhammad Ali, the boxer, right? He was an amazing activist, and he talked about how everything evil is black and everything good is white. So why is it that the angel's food cake is white and the devil's food cake is dark? Why is it that if you're trying to extort money from somebody, it's blackmail? It's a very, very funny but very profound. Inshallah, I'll try to share it with you. So shaitan trying to put things in slots. So when we see images like hmm, these little girls in hijab saying, say no to polygamy, making something that Allah has said is halal into haram, yeah. This lady completely covered head to toe, right, wearing a hijab and whatever, but leading a mixed congregation in prayer. For example, I'm just giving you some examples. These gentlemen over here singing their hearts out, right, with musical instruments and everything, and believing what? That we are praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are praising Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Do we ever think that maybe Shaitan has a hand in all of this? These kind of situations that we see around us? He has many, 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 many faces and many, 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 many sinister faces. Yeah. He's a master of disguise, absolute master of disguise. We need to recognize that. We need to recognize that so that we can be aware of that and we can warn others of that too, right? Whenever you see something that doesn't add up with the Islamic worldview, doesn't add up with what Quran is saying, doesn't add up with what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying, Shaitan is behind that. Most certainly behind that. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, there is not any one of you except that he has been assigned his companion from among the jinn and his companion from among the angels. They said, Ya Rasulullah, even you? He replied, even me, except that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has helped me against him so that I am unharmed. So companion among the jinn meaning a shaitan jinn, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has helped me against him so that I am unharmed. So in another narration, it says that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that he has become Muslim. And so he orders me to do nothing but good, right? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam also said, Iblis has his throne in the sea and he sends out his dispatchments who aggravate people. The greatest of them before him is the one who has caused the most fitna. When one of his workers comes and tells him, I did not leave until I brought about separation between him and his wife, then Iblis actually gets up and gives him a hug, right? Yes, you are the best. This is a Muslim. So a lot of family discord, a lot of toxic situations that arise in families between husband and wife, right? You should see what the root cause of that is. What is the root cause of that? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has also told us that Shaitan's flag is in the marketplace, right? And marketplace these days is anywhere where marketing is done. Doesn't necessarily have to be a physical market. Today, particularly in these days of COVID and shutdowns and all of that, marketing is done everywhere, right? And as it is, online marketing, etc., have flourished big time, and will probably flourish more. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam also told us about his voice, and Allah subhanahu wa taala has told us in several places in the Quran. Inshallah, when we come to those places, we'll discuss it further about the shout, the voice of Shaitan, musical instruments being part of that. In the name of fun, we get drawn into every possible entertainment avenue that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has categorically warned us against. And that is all Shaitan. You guys recognize this? The apple, the pretty beautiful apple that the wicked stepmother gave to Snow White. Do you think she would have eaten the apple if it looked like this? Of course not. Come on. Of course not. Would you eat an apple that looked like this? He makes sin and transgression so attractive that we, without thinking, get tempted big time and take bites into it and bites into it. So the question remains, can we defend ourselves? Or will we be destroyed? Of course we can defend ourselves. This is the greatest test that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put us through. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, inshallah, Inshallah, we will come to that in Surah Bani Israel or Surah Isra. Inna ibadi laysa laka alayhim sultan. My slaves, verily, my slaves, you have no authority over them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that to Shaitan, that my slaves, the ones who have made themselves pure for me, you will not have any authority. So the only way that we can save ourselves from this attack of Shaitan is hold on to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hold on to Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Right? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has told us, I am leaving behind two things. If you hold on to them, you will not go astray. The book of Allah and my sunnah. Right? Remember, we talked about it in Surah Al-Baqarah as well. وَأَعْتَصِمُوا بِحَبْلِ اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا. Hold on to the rope of Allah, all of you together. When you are a true or trying to be a true servant of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yes, that doesn't mean that he's not going to attack. In fact, his attack is going to be severe, right? His attack is going to be severe because scholars say that an alim's shaitan is a shaitan. A scholar's shaitan is a scholar, is also a scholar, right? Or wherever, whichever position you are in. And the higher your state of iman, the higher you are trying to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more you're trying to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more severe the attack is going to be. So don't be disheartened or don't be surprised or shocked when sometimes you hear scandalous things about certain very pious people, right? Because Shaitan is relentless. That is another thing, you see. Never think that he's going to let you alone for even a second. He's absolutely relentless. And he comes from different angles, right? Remember, he's saying, I'm going to come from their front and from their back and from their left and from their right. And scholars have described it in many different ways. Sometimes from your front, could be your friends or your children or your family. From your behind could be your previous generation. Like, you know, when we think of various different transgression and we say that yo hamare yahan to aise hi hota hai, right? So from your left and right, various different ways. Whatever works, he's going to try his level best. Try his level best to make you do that huge big sin, right? And then make you despair of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy whenever you fall down. And you will fall down. Right? Pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Turn back immediately. Turn back immediately. Right? The only reason that we need to actually keep this in mind, this is not paranoia. This is not drama, actually. It isn't. It's not dramatic. We watch so much drama in our on media that we feel what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying in the Quran is na'uzubillah very dramatic. It's not. We need to know who Shaitan is so that we have mechanisms to save ourselves, right? Again, come back to Muhammad Ali, the boxer. Those of you who are much younger have probably never seen his fights. I remember I was very young. We used to be in when his fights used to happen. We used to be in school, and he was so popular that there would be a chutti declared on that day or whatever, right? He used to have this song. He floats like a butterfly and stings like a bee. And one of his strategies in the ring was that he would just keep moving. You know, heavyweight champions didn't kind of dance around like that. He was very quick on his toes, and he would just keep moving around. So he didn't give the opponent a chance to take a swing at him. That is the strategy that you and I need to have against Shaitan. Float like a butterfly towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Keep moving on Sirat al-Mustaqim. Don't stop. The minute you stop, right? That is when you are exposing yourself to danger, to more danger. The minute you stop, you're exposing yourself to more danger, right? Walk with people. Have your tribe with you. It helps. Sahaba were a tribe. It helps. But in case you don't, that doesn't mean that you should just say, oh God, I have nobody as my helper or as my friend indeed, so I'm just going to stop. No, don't stop. The minute you stop, you're giving him you're a sitting duck then. Huh? You're a sitting duck. If you keep moving, inshallah, the chance of him getting to you is going to be not completely finished, but lesser, right? And if we support each other, inshallah, it'll also be perhaps easier to deflect. If somebody is thinking of something wonky in terms of, let's just go off-roading, you're like, nahi, 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 chalo yaar, seedha chalte hain, right? Let's just go. Let's just keep walking.